watched the tape of the most recent game, what is it that you feel like they did really well against Steph and just, I guess, team-wide defensively against you guys?
I thought they just played really hard and, really put a lot of pressure on us. And wasn't our best game, obviously. So, there's not, I don't think anything is sort of revealing about it. And so they changed a few of the matchups, but they just played really hard, and they're a good team, a really good team. So, a game that meant a lot to both teams, we were, I think, coming off 3 straight really big wins, and so kind of the natural progression of an NBA season, where you just have some nights where you don't have it, and the other team's really good. That's about it.
Ime was talking about the fact he's got all these guys that have never been here. They talk about experiences from Fred and others. You've got guys that have been here a ton. Do you do anything different year to year, or is it just roll the balls out and let's go again?
Well, we roll the balls out for 82 games because there's a game every other night. The beauty of the playoffs is you actually have a chance to plot and scheme and prepare, and so I think that's what makes the playoffs so fun, is you can really delve into things, and our guys have, especially Steph, Draymond, Jimmy, and Loon. I mean, those 4 guys have just a ton of playoff experience, so I think they really relish this time of year, and the process of getting ready for an opponent. It's fun.
You guys saw Houston 5 times this year, and it seemed like they threw a lot at you strategically. How much more might they have up their sleeve that you're preparing for?
Well, I think the most relevant game was the last one, just because they weren't playing Steven Adams and Şengün together until the last part of the season. But the other one would be right after we got Jimmy, when we came here and played a pretty good game, and that was our first look at playing them with Jimmy, and that changes things, obviously. So I think the last 2 games were the most relevant in terms of our preparation, but we looked at the first 3 as well, and this is the beauty of the playoffs. You actually have time to do all this stuff.
Steve, as you look at the layout of the schedule of this series, is there added emphasis for you guys specifically, maybe in the first 3 games of the series, to expand minutes maybe for some of the older players, knowing that later on it's going to be more compacted, or do you have to protect against that even early? Basically, with more rest, you try to really get those games by extending minutes at the risk of...
Yeah, I think you take each game for what it is, and we've had 4 days of rest since our Memphis game. We got 2 days in between this one and game 2. So we'll go into tonight and do everything we can to win, and it's the playoffs, so generally your best players are going to play extra minutes, and I'm not worried about anything other than tonight, and then you sort of figure it out each day after that.
You mentioned a lot about your identity is, when Steph's out there, it's a free-flowing Steph stuff, and when Jimmy's out there, more ISO. Obviously, we've seen that. What has it been like when they're together? Is it Jimmy in the free-flowing, or is it a little different when Steph and Jimmy are on together?
Well, I think the beauty of Jimmy's ISOs is that he ISOs to create an advantage and then to pass. And so whether it's running an action for Steph or Jimmy, we're still getting the ball movement and the flow. It's just the way we're starting the possession. And so getting the ball to Jimmy is one of our biggest priorities. So we can run our stuff for Steph, but we have a counter now, and that is just throw the ball to Jimmy, and that's an incredible luxury. But he's not a guy who's just going to ISO to score, and that's why it's been such a great fit. He ISOs, he draws defenders, then the ball movement kicks in from there. So it's really a very similar style to how we've played for 10 years. It's just the beginning action to generate the defensive rotation is different.
Draymond has been the heart and soul of your team for a very long time. Is there anything you have to tell him different now coming into this playoff series, knowing the history that he has with Dylan Brooks and with Steven Adams?
No, I mean, I think, again, get back to the preparation time that you have in the playoffs. It allows for, different thoughts, different ideas during practice. It allows for more mental and emotional preparation for your team. Good reminders to guys. I haven't said anything to Draymond about that stuff. He's a 4-time champion. He knows, a big part of this series is staying poised and, playing through the physicality and matching the physicality that Houston's bringing it, and that's something he does quite well.
The Rockets were the #1 rebounding team in the league this year. When you're going up against a team that crashed the boards much for the Rockets, does that change anything with your game plan as far as, for instance, do you have more people going to the boards instead of getting out on a fast break, or do you stick to what you've pretty much been doing all season long?
Well, it just provides data to add to the film when you're preparing, and you just tell your team. The series probably depends on the possession battle. We can't allow them to have a bunch more possessions than us and expect to win the series. So that means it's on us to take care of the ball and be relentless when it comes to rebounding and loose balls.
Do you only expect them to go to that double big lineup with Steph's not on the floor?
Yeah, we would expect that.
Anything else?
Thank you.
Thank you.